Hello, you're very welcome to today's show. I am Sarah Leather. I am the founder of Signature Program School, where we help women with a really simple method to fill their signature programs, whether they are enrolling into their one-to-one program or into their one-to-many group program with in a really simple and effective way. And today we are talking all about the mindset for outrageous success, mindset for your six-figure one-to-many success. And I did a training this morning in Signature Program School around the mindset of success and looking at goals and looking at what goals you're moving towards, because we have a vision. We have a vision of ourselves in our business. Our vision is normally years away, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, about who we're becoming and what impact we're making in the world. And that's really important. That needs to come first. That vision needs to come first, because that really shows the impact, then the ripple effect of the impact of your work. But we also need goals. And a lot of women I've spoken to over the years are a little bit anti-goal. They don't like the word, and they use the past against themselves. They are often saying that, well, I've set goals in the past and I didn't get them, so goals don't work for me. And this isn't true, because goals will always work for you, but you kind of need to work the goals. So when we talk about six-figure success, that is one number. Six figures is, 100K plus. That is one number. You can pick whatever number you want. And it's might be, if you were looking at like a monthly revenue, that would be a goal in 6 months or 12 months time. It might be 2K, 3K, 5K, 10K, 15K, 20K, 30K, 50K, 100K. It doesn't really matter. It's just a number. It is just a number. But you just need to decide, like, what is the number I would like in the future? And decide what that is. And it needs to be a stretch. It needs to be something that is just like, "Ugh, I don't know how I'm going to do that, but it's really exciting." What number would really excite you? And once you have your number, so like I'm saying here in the title of this training is all about, a six-figure one-to-many program, because I believe a one-to-many program, like a group program, is one of the sort of easiest ways that you can provide so much value, and we get paid for the value we put out in the world. So it is a way of really scaling your business, helping more people in less time, and making more money. So reaching your goals is easier with a group program. So, and a lot of my clients would do one-on-ones alongside the group program until they're ready to go purely group only, which is what I do in my business now. So once you've got your number of what you would like to achieve in the next 6 or 12 months in your business, well then, before we move on to really making that a reality for you, you've got to look at, why you want this number. It can't be just money for money's sake. And it's important that you have something that your mind can visualize, that your mind can go like, yes, that's exactly what I want. So you may just be thinking about, oh, I want to beat six figures. I want 10K months so I can be financially free. What does financial freedom look like for you? Does that mean that when you look at your online calendar, that there maybe you're working 3 or 4 hours a day, 3 or 4 days a week? And what's the rest of the time for? Is that time with your family? Is it time to travel? For me, I want time for myself. I've got at that stage in my mid-50s. I want time for me. Done the time with family. And yes, I do want to spend time with my husband, with my friends and everything. But for me, what feels really spacious is to have time for myself, to do the things that I want to do. So it might be, what will emotionally kind of motivate you for that money, and what's beyond the money? What does that money facilitate for you? Because that's what you need to be really excited about. And if you're not sure, just sit with it for a while and see what it is. Because some people have ideas about what they should want money for, or maybe it's somebody else's goals that they are sort of taking on. It's very easy to do that. So what do you want? What do you want to create this financial abundance? If you created a six-figure one-to-many like group coaching program over the next 12 months, what do you want to create that money for? And it might be to buy your dream home. It might be to have some kind of holiday home. I was in my sister-in-law's holiday home yesterday, and absolutely, they've just done up this old house, this old farmhouse, and it's absolutely exquisite. I really, really enjoyed visiting there, and it's so gorgeous. But I know it's not what I want. That wouldn't motivate me at all. I don't want another house to look after. And I like to go to different places when I go away. I don't want to go to the same place all the time. And we have a caravan anyway that we have for that, for when we want to do that kind of thing. This is much nicer than a caravan. But what is it you want money for? Me coming from Australia and living in Ireland, I love the fact that my business now enables me to be able to spend big chunks of time. Unfortunately, the pandemic has got other ideas, but big chunks of time in Australia every year to be with my family, to be with my mum and my sisters and nieces and nephews. But yeah, that's not a reality at the moment due to the way things are. However, my business affords that in every way, in every sense of the way now. So for you, I really want you to think about what it is that is the money is going to create for you, and something that, because our brains think in pictures, so something that you can visualize that is going to really be really inspiring for you on days when maybe you're not feeling it, or you've got to do things that feel a little bit uncomfortable in your business. Then you're like, yes, you just remind yourself of what you're creating. And that really does help to get you past those stuck points. Because a lot of people are always saying, like, how important is your mindset in your business? And so many people say mindset is everything. Is it everything? It kind of is. It's, we do need the strategy. And that's why I use business strategy, particularly in my signature program, that people have this simple strategy that they follow. But it's their minds that stop them. It's their brains, it's their thoughts. And I'm just going to share with you one thing that it's part of the mindset process that I use. And it's known as the sort of the think, feel, act cycle, because we don't we don't act because of just deciding to take actions. We act because of the way we feel. And the way that we feel comes from our thoughts. So the thought comes first, then the feelings, and then the actions. And then results come from that. So let's say you're going to do a social media post and you're feeling really despondent. So you're feeling kind of maybe flat or despondent or negative, or you've got some kind of feeling that you don't particularly like, but you're looking at your schedule and you're like, now's the time that I have to do this social media post. And so you just force yourself to do it. You make yourself do it. So you do the social media post, but the energy you're bringing to it is really flat. And it's not surprising then that you don't get the comments or don't get the traction from it that you would have liked, because when you were feeling despondent, you were having thoughts that created that feeling. So just imagine what kind of thoughts you were having. It's like, maybe I have to do this now. I'm really not in the mood. That's one that I often come up with. My brain often offers me, like, I'm not in the mood right now, and I was just like, so what I love to do then is to do what we call a thought download. Is actually download the thoughts. What am I thinking right now that's creating this feeling? And finding that one thought that's creating that feeling, because there'll always be one thought. And then just really asking, is that true? Is that true? And is there another way of thinking right now that's going to make a difference? Um, a lot of people think you have to think thoughts that create these really happy and inspired kind of feelings, and yes, that can help, but it's often this kind of almost like forced positivity, which isn't always useful. So instead, I think it's really good to think about like, okay, I want to take these actions. I want to post my daily post on social media. And how do I want to feel? What kind of energy do I want to bring to it? So, yes, you could do this real happy, motivated thing, but I often go for something like, okay, I'm committed to showing up today. I'm committed or I'm determined. I'm going to do this, or I am focused on doing this right now. And to me, that feels like just a really solid, steady kind of emotion that then I go and post it, and it's far more in line with how I am. Because to go to the complete opposite from feeling flat and despondent to feeling marvelous and excited and everything, it's just too much. My brain is like, who are you trying to kid? And so going for something that's more neutral, but is actually going to get the job done in a much more balanced, grounded kind of way really helps. So then I think, what thought do to be focused right now, what thought do I need to be thinking? And it could be just like, yep, let's do this. Or for me, one of my favorite thoughts that carries me throughout so many days is like, this is working. What I'm doing is working. And it really, really helps me to just get on with it, get on with it and do it. So, have a think about when you are doing your work within your work to get, really to move towards that goal that is so exciting for you, what thoughts are you bringing to it? So it always starts with awareness of like, how am I currently thinking? What are these current thoughts? And it doesn't matter if you're posting on social media or you're going into a sales call or you're going into a live presentation or whatever it is that you're doing. Download your thoughts first and just think about like, oh, how am I thinking? What feelings are going to come up from these thoughts? So yes, you'll probably do the action anyway, or maybe you won't. Maybe you'll just overthink things and not actually take the action you want to take. But really know this is your mindset. This is how you have complete control over what you're thinking. You get to decide what takes up the space in your brain. And you get to once you decide on a new thought that you'd rather be thinking that is going to put you, give you a much better feeling or emotion so that you can take the actions you want to take, really then start looking for evidence that it's true. And it could be like you're wanting to create an extra 5,000 a month into your business. And if you then decide on some thoughts that you're on your way to to an extra 5K. I'm on my way to an extra 5K. How does that feel? Maybe you have a good feeling for that. And then you start taking the actions that you need to take. You can start looking at all sorts of different ways, brainstorming all sorts of different ways that you could make that 5K. And then as you go throughout your day, look for evidence that it's working. And that could be even just seeing some money lying on the ground. It could be evidence that's working. You get to choose how you see the evidence that it's working. So just look for evidence everywhere that it's true, that this new thought is true, and it will show up for you. And I just like, if evidence for the contrary, you notice, it's almost just like, just hit a delete button. Just like, no, no, not giving that one any energy. No, delete, delete, delete. And just really look for the evidence that it's true and it is working, because it does. It absolutely does. And the really stop looking to the past for evidence that something's not working. This is what we so often do, because our brains love to go back to the past and look for evidence like how this didn't work. If you were chatting to a girlfriend or someone and they were saying they were just really wanted a new relationship or wanted a new partner, and they just kept going on and on and on about the past. Well, in the past, he treated me like this, and he did this, and he did this. You'd probably want to shake them and go like, what are you talking about that? You're talking about someone for the future. You want someone for the future. So why are you going back to all that stuff back there? It really doesn't work. So it's about going to your future self and knowing, like, that woman who has the six-figure signature program. Who is she? And what is she thinking? What is she thinking? I did for on the couple of years that I was on my journey to becoming a six-figure entrepreneur. Whenever I had to make any decisions in my business, I just used to ask myself just this one question: what would six-figure Sarah do? I do it now. Now I say, what would seven-figure Sarah do? So if somebody invites me somewhere, or if I notice my phone ringing and it's a friend or something during working hours, or if I get invited to maybe speak somewhere or write something or something, I think, like, is what is the decision from the future me, from the six, multiple six, seven-figure me? What is she saying? What does she say? Not that one back there. It's the one in the future. You ask her. She's very wise. She will tell you. She will tell you. And whenever you tell yourself, like, I don't know, just know that that's your brain's way of trying to keeping you small and safe and not going forwards to where it doesn't feel quite so certain, because it's uncertain in the future, isn't it? So just know that that's really normal to feel that that um that fear about around the uncertainty, but that doesn't need to stop you. Ask her, what does she do? What does that future you that has done it, what does she do? And it's so important to believe it before you see it, because we can't have evidence for what is happening in the future because it hasn't happened yet. But you can imagine it. Your brain can absolutely imagine it. Um, so stop looking at the past to see where you're going in the future. It's about, like, if you were driving, looking in the rear vision mirror the whole time that you were driving, what's going to happen? You're going to bang into something. It's going to be really dangerous. You'll have obstacles and roadblocks and things because you're not going to be focused on where you're going. You're going to be just looking behind you the whole time, and it's not good. That's not good. So you want to be focusing on the future, where you're going, being very grounded in where you are now, and just being in 100% belief that it's happening before you see it. And you can write it down. I write it down every day in my journal. I write down that I'm so happy and grateful for what I'm bringing into my business, and I also attach them to the emotions about why I'm doing it. What is the way that so that I can sort of emotionally attach to my goal in the future, so that I know that it is it's happening. It's happening. And really looking for evidence that it is happening, that it is working, and just deleting anything to the contrary. Because our brains have a negative bias. We do look for negative things. It's our primitive wiring to keep us safe so we don't get killed. But we don't live in those times anymore. So it's time to look for the future and really be 100% in belief of where you're going. And surround yourself with people that are all on the journey with you and that are bringing you along the journey with you. And that's why I absolutely adore running programs like Signature Program School, because all on the journey. And it really is like it's like a rising tide lifting all boats. We just all come along the journey together. And yes, some people can be at different stages of their journey, of course, but we're moving forwards together. And that is just such an amazingly abundant way to do business. So I want you to really think about what you would choose to believe about the future for yourself. Where is your business going? are you willing to be in full belief that you're creating a incredibly abundant, whether it's six figures, whether it's five figures, whether it's multiple six figures or seven figures, it doesn't matter. It's a number. You get to choose that number and you get to move yourself towards it. One belief at a time, one thought at a time. So I want you to pick one thought now that will help to carry you through, carry you along your journey. Mine, I'm sticking with mine that I've been using for such a long time that I still like, and every time I stretch my goals out a bit more as I nudge towards them all the time, is like, this is working. This is working. I'm just in full belief that it's working. And to me, that just brings so much abundance along the way. You get to believe what thought is it that you're going to bring along the journey with you. And you can try different ones on and see how they go, but know that from that thought, then your feeling and emotion comes from there, and then your actions come from there, and your results come from your actions then. So what is it that you're willing to believe? I'd love to hear it. And doors are currently open to Signature Program School. So there's a little bit of time left. Do reach out, send me a message if you want to hear more about it, because we're on this journey together. We do not have to do it on our own. I don't believe anyone needs to do it on their own. It's way more fun with friends, and and to have the mindset, the strategy, the community, the accountability, the training, the education, everything that you need to create your hugely abundant signature program. So thank you so much for being here today. Let me know if you'd like to hear some more, and I'd love to hear your thought. What's that thought, that thought that can be your belief moving you forwards towards the goal that you is absolutely going to happen for you. I totally believe. And if you struggle with belief at any time, you can just borrow some of my belief in you. I've got plenty to go around. I believe that like women are just capable of so much more. So much more. And that doesn't mean to say what they're doing now isn't enough. It's just I know that like there's so much sort of unmet ambition, and there is always more. And I suppose that's one of my superpowers that I kind of take for granted a bit, but I see it and I use it every day, is that I can see what's possible for women, and they so often can't see it themselves. I mean, on Friday, I interviewed year 3 of our clients in Signature Program School. One of them was Deirdre Martin, and I was asking her where she was this time last year, and working in a bank, about to be made redundant, and she couldn't see where she could get to in a year. She just couldn't see it at the time. But as soon as I spoke to her, I could see it. And that's the thing, like I can see so clearly what's possible for women way before they can see it themselves. So if you need to borrow a little tiny bit of my belief in you, there's plenty there to go around. Know that you can totally do this, and I'd love to hear that from you. Okay, thank you so much for being here today, and I will be back with you very soon. Bye for now.